Liebelt. So happy Sunday morning. Good morning. It's so good to see you guys. So I wanted to do something different today. I told you yesterday when we made the chocolate pudding that I would come back today and I would show you how to make Danishes out of the egg white bread. So I hope that you can all hear me fine. I actually did order I ordered these little microphones that I'm going to try out like on my phone for Instagram. We'll see how that works for you guys. I'm hoping that that'll help like with the echo and stuff like that. We'll see. But I would love to know, number one, if you're on the replay, tell me where you're coming in from. And number two, have you seen the egg white bread being made before? Do you know what I'm even talking about, or is this foreign to you? Because we're going to make the egg white protein bread and we're going to turn it into raspberry Danishes. Good morning, Cheryl. Good to see you. It's so weird. So I'm just going to say this. You guys aren't Instagram and TikTok, you won't know, but on Facebook, when I use StreamYard so that I can go on multiple platforms, it makes me so freaking close to you guys. I looked back at my good morning. I looked back at my my replay yesterday and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so weird. It looks normal. And then when you look back on it, it's really weird. Hold on. What are you saying, Cheryl? Yummy. I know. I'm so excited. I'm very excited to show you this because again, you don't have to stop being a foodie because you're insulin resistant. You just change out the ingredients to the things that you already love. This is such an important concept all the time. And I want people to understand that. We are not back in the 90s where they're telling you to eat gross food in order to lose weight and that you have to suffer. You don't have to do that. Now, that's why it took me a long time to trade out my ingredients. Because being Italian, I thought for sure that I was going to hate everything that I ate. That was in my head, but it doesn't have to be in your head anymore. And I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, if you've already done the good morning, yes, you've watched me make the bread perfection. Good to see you. So I'm going to teach you a different recipe today for the egg white bread. So pay attention. I'm just kidding. I have it actually on here. I will show you the recipe before I start. You can screenshot it and then you can flip it around in your own camera. Okay. So I woke up this morning and I realized I don't have liquid egg whites. Now I could sit and like separate all of my eggs. That's what Maria Emmerich does all the time. But I thought, you know what? I know she has a recipe somewhere that uses only the egg white protein powder, that uses only this. And I thought, I'm going to try this and teach this. And the only reason why potentially you wouldn't do this in the future, the only reason in my opinion is because this can be pricey. Okay. So if you go back to the replay on Friday, when I'm making the egg white bread normal, you can get that recipe that uses egg white liquid and adds this in. Today, we're only going to use this and we're going to see how it turns out. How does that sound? Okay. And then we're going to turn it into Danishes, raspberry Danishes, because I have raspberries that I pulled from my freezer that I picked last week at my daughter's. So they are fresh. And you guys, it's a great way to go. Grain-free, sugar-free, to be able to love the food that you already like and to be able to stop spiking your sugars all the time. Okay. So I grew up with a type 2 insulin dependent dad. It was my entire life. And I'm the only one now in my family that completely avoided type 2. And the only one. And he had my appliances are singing to me. If you can hear that, I don't know. My dryer is singing to me. When he died, he had a lazy Susan full of medication. And what I do is completely the opposite. I actually used supplementation. Didn't know it was going to work. But when it did, I had to figure out why it worked. All of those testimonies are on my Instagram, highlight pink bubble, or in guide number 4 of the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Those are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Go and look at the testimonies, you guys. Don't take my word for it. I say that all the time. You need to get your own hopes up that you can turn back your insulin resistance simplistically. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to get started. Good morning, Movie Mama. Good to see you. So I'm going to get started, and I'm using a different recipe than normal. You guys can ask questions, but I am going to get busy doing this. So if I miss them, just keep whatever. Just come back and place them again, and then we'll get going. So I'm going to show you this. I'll give you this. You can screenshot this and then flip it around in your camera if you need to. So let's do that first. So let's do, here's Instagram. You can screenshot that. This is what we're using today. 1.5 cups of the protein powder, of the egg white protein powder. Here's TikTok. Thank you for all the hearts, you guys. Thank you so much for sharing and hearting on the live. It puts it out under the FYP, and then other people can get really good information just like this. And then follow me if you want more information when it comes to how to turn back your insulin resistance. I started in my 40s. I waited 20 years. And then when I started, and then when I did something about it, I used supplements. So my journey is a little bit different than other people's, and I like to share it. So, all right, we're going to get going on this. So the first thing that she talks about is using 1.5 cups of this protein powder. And that's a different thought process than normal. Now, this brand I've never bought before, but it's totally fine. Any one of these is interchangeable when it comes to purchasing these, like on Amazon, in terms of read the ingredients and make sure that there's nothing added in here. So on here, I can see the ingredients literally says egg white powder. That's what I want it to say. Now, the chocolate one that I made a mistake with and I bought, it actually does have like cocoa and then some sunflower lecithin in it. And that's fine. It turned out great. It tasted amazing, but I do wonder if it didn't mess with my fluffiness. So I'm going to do, let me get a larger cup. I don't know if that's going to fit in there. It won't. That's okay. 1.5 cups. And this was my mom's from back in the 70s. I love that. She was a home ec teacher. And she did some substituting, but that's about all she ever did because she was at home and she would make crafts in the basement also. She's very creative. But it's because she was such a great baker that we really sure did enjoy our carbs. We really did. That and being Italian. That's a whole nother conversation, isn't it? All right, so 1.5 cups. Oh, I don't want to lose any of that. And the best price that I ever saw on egg white protein powder was during the Black Friday. So make a note of that for when Black Friday comes up. You might be able to get it for half off. That's what happened for me last year. And I was able to get a huge tub of it. All right, so 1.5 cups. And now I'm going to add allulose. Now, if you don't know anything about the sweeteners, this is your, here's a little bit of a tutorial. So the 4 different types of sweeteners in general are stevia, allulose, monk fruit, and erythritol. And most of the time they are in blends. This is a blend. This is a erythritol monk fruit blend. Okay, I'm going to use this for the glaze. But anything that has allulose in it is going to help you when you're making the egg white bread because it's going to brown it. And that's what you really want. Okay, so now I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of allulose. I'm going to put in my dry ingredients first. So just 1/4 cup, just like that. Allulose is a great natural plant sweetener. In fact, they're actually finding out, now I'm going to do 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon cream of tartar. They're finding out that allulose actually lowers blood sugar. Like, that is crazy. So anybody who has wondered about some of these sweeteners, that is a great result that they're finding in studies. I find that to be very, very interesting. 1/2 teaspoon cream of tartar. So this is the easiest way to make the bread. If you've ever wondered, like, is there an easier way? This is it. This is the answer. Maria Emmerich has this recipe on her website under her pizza, an easy pizza dough made with the egg white bread. That's what this is under. So I'm making this instead of using liquid egg whites. I'm going to mix this and get this all blended. Okay. And now I'm going to use 1.5 cups of water. So hold on. Let me get that. 1.5. Okay, I have 1.5 cups of water and I'm going to mix this in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this whip because I want this to get stiff so that I can put this on my parchment paper and make little Danishes. And we're going to make an inside also. Okay. So actually maybe before I whip that, I'm going to pivot for just a second because I don't want to have too much time in between this being whipped and the fact that I'm going to have my inside ready to go. Okay, so the inside is going to be 4 ounces of cream cheese. Oh, I didn't have this written down. Shoot. Grab a pen. I didn't have this part written down. However, you can go to Maria Emmerich's website, mariamindbodyhealth.com, and look up Danishes. And these are the raspberry Danishes. So this is 4 ounces of cream cheese. And then I'm going to separate an egg. I need to see if everybody can see me. Okay, I think you can. So I'm just going to separate an egg like this. Oh, man. Oh, for Pete's sake. Hold on. Let's get a little bit of that yolk out of there. You can never use an egg white if it has even just a smidge of egg yolk in it. Tip of the day. Use your shell to get out the egg yolk. It works like a charm. I don't know why. It just does. If anybody knows, let me know. But again, I'll look at questions and comments in just a minute because I'm going to keep going. We'll get these in the oven and then we'll chat. You guys can ask questions. Questions about this, questions about insulin resistance. Whatever you got going. Okay. So we're going to put in hold on. I'm going to make sure that I have the right measurements for this. So for the cream cheese filling, see if I held this up for you guys. I don't know that you're going to be able to see it, but let's try it. And you can screenshot this if you want to. Oh, this is going to be confusing. I don't want to confuse you guys because I'm using a different recipe for this. However, I'm going to do it anyway. And then you can screenshot that and then flip it in your camera. And that's the Danish part and the jelly part. Okay. I hope that helps. That's the Danish part or the filling part and the jelly part. And then here, Facebook, I'll give it to you too. But yours is forward, so you're fine. Okay, so 4 ounces of cream cheese. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of sweetener, or you can use liquid stevia. Make it really easy, and 1 large egg yolk. So we're going to go large egg yolk right here. I am going to use powdered sweetener because I feel like that's the easiest to get it mixed in. Two tablespoons. You guys, this is so cool that you can make stuff like this. I love this so much. This was my biggest mental hurdle, and I feel like it can be for other people too, where you just think for sure that it's because you don't have proper willpower. You think that you're just whatever, a loser when it comes to dieting or changing out your food ingredients, etc. And it's not true. When you are insulin resistant and your cells are resistant to taking insulin and glucose into them for fuel, you're not getting the energy that you need. And what's happening is it's keeping you very hungry and you're downright hangry. But when you eat like this is actually, you know, we think of Danishes as being a no-no. We think of Danishes as being like a really bad thing. This is actually a very good thing to eat because it's high protein. The fat from the cream cheese is actually going to keep you full longer, and you're going to be very happy with how this makes you feel. And it's not going to spike your sugars. You're not going to be, you know, super hungry in about an hour because you didn't get fuel. I'm just telling you. And eggs are one of the most nutritious things on the planet that you can possibly eat. Makes your hormones so happy. So protein like this stabilizes your blood sugars. This is all protein because of that protein powder, the egg white protein powder. It's all protein. Good morning, Anna. I know I'm not looking at comments as much. Good morning, good morning. We are doing Danishes, raspberry Danishes. What did I miss on Instagram maybe? Okay, I'm good. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm just wanting this ready before I whip this up. And I'm gonna just get this going. Now remember, this is a different recipe than I've used in the past. So this is all egg white powder. This does not have liquid egg whites in it. So don't be confused. 1.5 cup of egg white powder, 1/4 cup of allulose, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon cream of tartar, and now we're gonna add in 1.5 cups of water, and we're gonna whip it until it's whipped up really nicely. So we're gonna get a little noisy here. Sure you can't see it, but I'll show it to you when I'm done. Okay, so that whipped up very nicely. And now what I'm doing over here, and I know this will be a little harder to see, but I'm using a quarter cup. I want to see if Facebook can see me. I'll show it to you when I'm done. I have a quarter cup of water in here, very little. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of gelatin, okay? 1 teaspoon of gelatin. And I'm just frothing that, like getting it mixed in, incorporated, okay? Then what I'm doing is I'm adding a 1/2 cup of raspberries so that we can make literally our own little jelly. And here, just a tad of salt, just a little bit of salt. We're gonna mix that together. Do you see how easy that is? I mean, honestly, it doesn't get easier than that. And we're literally just gonna let this be for about a minute. Okay, so while that's going, we're gonna do this. Is everybody doing good? Is everybody tracking? Are you tracking? Oh, I'm missing so many so many things there. Kristen, good morning. Good to see you. We're making raspberry Danishes out of the egg white protein powder bread. Good morning. Okay, now this is what we're doing. I'm gonna take this, which is like a jelly roll pan, and I've got my parchment paper on it. And I'm going to take my egg white. Here we go. This is just my mixture, okay? Just my mixture. Everybody can see that. I can see. And a spatula. And I'm going to start to put, now what I'm doing, you guys, is I'm going to make just whatever I can get on here. And then I'm going to put the rest into a different pan. Because I'm just doing this for purposes of like kind of showing you guys. So maybe I can get 6 on here. So we're kind of make a well in the middle. Okay. Now I could have added all sorts of things to the dough, right? I could have added almond extract. I could have added, I'm going to actually add raspberry extract to my glaze, but I could have put all sorts of stuff into this part of it. In fact, I probably should have added vanilla extract. I could have done that, but I'm going to try to make these as Danishy as I can. And these are going to go in the oven at 325 for 13 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to have a lot of dough batter. It's really not dough. I'm going to have a lot of batter left. Can everybody see this? Yep, you can. Okay, good. Again, you guys, this is so doable. And then when I'm done, when we get this in the oven for 15 minutes, if you have questions on insulin resistance or any of this, we will chat coming up very soon. All right, hold on. All right, I'm going to take a spoon. Well, actually, I should do this first. Oh, that's coming along nicely. We're just cooking that down. That's all we're doing. Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to make a well in each one. Can you see this? This is the raspberry. So basically that's made a jelly. Like once that cools, that would set up because we're talking about gelatin is in there. And like she said, if you don't use all of it, which you probably won't, even though this is only a 1/2 cup of raspberries, she said, I'm going to set that in the freezer for just a second while I do this. She said, don't worry about it because obviously then you've got jelly on hand. So the first thing that I'm going to do with these, and just to let you know, I'm going to put the rest of my stuff in this little pan right here just to make its own bread because I don't want to waste any of this. And actually what I could do is turn this into a pizza dough. That might even be a better idea. I'll decide on that in just a second. So this is the Danish part. So this is the cream cheese with the yolk, with some sweetener. Trying to remember what else did we put in there? Cream cheese, yolk, sweetener. That might have been it. I'd have to look. You can get a pen ready and I will let you know stuff, but you also can go onto Maria Emmerich's website and look up Danishes. And the only thing that I did differently was I did the dough differently than normal because I was out of liquid egg whites today. So it's literally, it's going to take me all of this. I'm going to be able to use all of this 4 ounces. Okay, how we doing? Are we tracking so far? Here we go. All right, I need to make a quick decision. What do I want to do with the rest of my dough? I really can do savory because I didn't add extra sweetener in it. So what I can do show you something here. Maria, this recipe for this egg white that I use came from her pizza dough recipe, and it's made with 100% egg whites, cream of tartar, salt, allulose, and water. So it's not the normal way of using all of the egg whites. So this is what I'm going to do. I will put the raspberry in there in 2 seconds, and then I'm going to put that in the oven. But in the meantime, why not use the rest of this that does not have an extract in it, does not have anything whatever, and I can make this into a pizza dough and turn this into anything that I want after it's been baked. So when I was raising my kids, I used to make real white flour dough all the time with yeast, right? And make pizza, and then I'd make another pan, and it would be garlic bread. So all I have to do is bake this. Look at how beautiful that is. All I have to do is bake this, take it out, put whatever I want on it, and put it back in. So I could take it out and put Parmesan cheese, which I have. I could do a tomato sauce, garlic powder, anything I want. So that'll be our lunch. So look at how beautiful that is for a pizza. Now this is, again, pure egg white protein powder. And what that means is instead of using the egg whites first, this is an easier way. It's just more, it's a little more costly, only in the sense that you're using 1.5 cups of the egg white protein powder instead of mixing it with liquid egg whites. Okay, here we go. Raspberries on top. Make sure everybody can see what I'm doing. We're going to take this raspberry jelly and put it right on top. of each one. And then this is going to go in the oven for like 13, 14, 15 minutes, she said. Oh, I am going to use all of this. You guys, this is so freaking amazing. My husband is, I swear, he's going to know exactly when to come in. He's going to know exactly when these are done. Had I had almond extract, I'll be honest, I would have put almond extract in there. But there we go. They're going in the oven. Can you see these? Here, I'll do them this way. Don't those look great, you guys? Good morning, Wendy. Oh, good to see you. You're so excited about watching this. I love you. I love you back, Wendy. These are so good. Okay, they're going in the oven, and I'll put these in at the same time. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's 3:25, and I'm going to do a full 15 minutes because I think that having my extra pan underneath it is going to change how fast those are going to cook. All right, let me move stuff out of the way. I'll get my cooling rack here for you. And then we'll chat. Get your pen and paper out if you want to be able to write down anything that I just did, or screenshot the different way that I made the egg white protein powder bread. All right, here we go. There we go. All right. How are we doing? I'm not used to being away from my comments for so long. Got to see how everybody's doing. Okay. Let's see if we have any questions. What am I making? Nene, good to see you. Good to see you, Nene. I am making, these are raspberry Danishes that are grain-free, sugar-free. So Maria Emmerich teaches a, here's my thing. Maria Emmerich teaches a method of using egg white protein powder instead of grain, instead of wheat, and you're making bread. But this time we're turning it into raspberry Danishes, which is super decadent. Won't spike your sugars. That's a really big piece of the puzzle. All right, does everybody have a pen? Because I'm going to show you the information. So on her recipe, if you were to go to her website and you saw it say Danishes, raspberry Danishes, maybe even, the way she made the egg white bread is different than what I did today, because I woke up and I'm out of egg whites and I didn't separate out a bunch of, I could have separated out a dozen and I just didn't. So what I did was I knew in my head that she had an all protein powder dough batter that she could make. And so that's what I did. So I'm going to show you the batter first, have you screenshot it. TikTok and Instagram, you're going to have to flip it inside of your camera. So when you get to your camera roll, hit edit, and there's something on the top that will flip it for you, okay, if you want this. So this is how you make the egg white bread dough batter. You can turn it into bread, anything, just like normal, just like how we always do stuff, but you can do it with 100% egg white powder. Maybe that makes your life easier. So hold on. Here you go. This is the recipe that I just used for the egg white bread. Mary, you just got home from church. You missed the beginning. You'll watch it again. Looks fun. It is. Does it taste different? It does not, Linda. It does not. You're literally just taking the egg white. The only reason why the other ones, okay, Maria will make bread with only egg whites. This one just happens to be an easy version. And 15 minutes is, well, it depends on what you're making out of it. But the Danishes, these are 15 minutes. She uses egg whites only and makes bread all the time. Okay. So what we did was, and now if you have a pen and paper, I'm going to give you even more information. Okay. Mixing the two for me, I just realized that I liked that texture. I'm questioning something. Hold on. So this recipe, this is interesting because there are many recipes floating around out there. A lot of them are variations from Maria herself. The one that I use normally has gelatin in it, and this one doesn't. I used gelatin in the raspberries, but not in the bread. Isn't that interesting? So I'll be interested to see how this turns out. I bet the Danishes will be fluffier. So instead of using the regular Danish or the regular egg white bread recipe, I used her pizza one, which was the all protein powder. Okay, the cream cheese filling. This is what you need to write down. The cream cheese filling is 4 ounces of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of natural sweetener, or you can use liquid stevia. You can use liquid stevia like drops or whatever, and 1 large egg yolk. That's what we put in the middle. Like we made a little well in each one, and we put that in the middle. And then we made a very fast raspberry jelly. You guys, it doesn't get easier than this. You do not have to go and buy sugar-free jelly that has really bad, like if it has aspartame in it or whatever, you can do your own. It literally was made out of, you took a 1/4 cup of water and you put in a teaspoon of gelatin. You mixed it up and you added 1/2 cup of raspberries, fresh raspberries, and a little bit of salt. That's it. And that makes jelly. Isn't that crazy how easy that is? It's so easy. And then I put that on top and now they're in the oven. Hold on. Which texture? The texture of the egg white bread. So hold on. Does it taste? No, okay. Yeah, I saw that. So the texture of the egg white bread, when I have tested different variations and versions, the one that I teach you guys the most frequently is just the variation that I have found has a good balance of, because if you had to use 1.5 cups of this every time you made egg white bread, you might not do it. So it has a balance, in my opinion, of a good texture along with a better price point. Now, if this was inexpensive, I would probably do this every time, right? But this stuff can be like $30 for a little thing. Yes, I can repeat the jelly. Thank you for asking. 1/4 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of gelatin, and then I used my little, like my frother thing, whatever you call that thing, the little mini one. I mixed that together and then added in 1/2 cup of fresh raspberries. Mine were actually frozen, but I picked them fresh last week. Does that count? And then a little bit of salt, like a pinch of salt. And you're basically cooking it for about a minute and it turns into jelly. I used all of mine. Yeah, I already rinsed the bowl. I used all of mine, but it turned out great. And I put that on top. Can you do half powder egg whites with a cup of egg whites? Yes. Or what would be the ratio? Yes. So when I make mine, Mary, the one that I teach you guys all the time, it is 1 pint of egg whites whipped with the cream of tartar, that's a whole nother one. Here, you know what, Mary? You can screenshot this one. Get ready to screenshot this one. This is the one that I teach all the time. Right here. If you could screenshot that That's the one that I make all the time. And I teach it on here. I taught it Friday. If you go back to Friday's episode, you'll see me making this with using a chocolate egg white protein powder. Okay, and then I whip the egg whites. If you need the tutorial, go back to the video because, you know, just learning some of the techniques and stuff can be different. That's all. That's all. Good. I'm glad you got it, Mary. Good, good, good. I'm so glad. So anyway, so, you know, learning all of this, you guys, I never thought in a million years that I would learn any of this. Like, you have to really believe for real that you can trade things out just like I can. If I'm Italian, and if I can trade things out and really, like, I've gone from a 2X down to a large in my 50s. I'm the only one that avoided type 2 diabetes in my family. My dad, when he died, he had a Lazy Susan full of medication. That's just not, I wish I had a picture of it. I wish I could find a picture of our house just in general where you could see the Lazy Susan on the counter. I didn't show the chocolate recipe online. I did it on Friday. So you would have to go back. You'd have to jump over to Instagram. And it's only because I made a mistake and I bought the chocolate egg white protein powder instead of the regular. So it turned out really good. It's super yummy. It's super yummy. But that would be, you'd have to go over either to my Facebook or my Instagram where the replays are posted, or YouTube, because they're not posted on TikTok, which is so stinky, but that's the way that goes. So anyway, and you know, the thing is that in my world where my dad was on so much medication, he had so many procedures, and he had so much lack of function. And in the Italian family, so much type 2. And so every day I talk about insulin resistance with somebody, whether I come live, whether I'm in my messages, and I'm talking to people about how you can use targeted supplementation to turn it around, and you can begin to lose weight. When your insulin and your sugars are high, you can't lose weight. That's what's so frustrating. We're stuck on a hamster wheel, especially us as women. We're super duper stuck, and we don't know why. And so those are the types of conversations I'm fielding all the time in my inbox. Because if you can have hope that you can turn things around, yes, I will show that again. So are you wanting the one that I did from that, my normal one? Is that the one you're wanting? If you can have hope, then you know that you can function on a different level. Then you know that you can actually have a better life filled with more memories. Yes. Okay. So in my explanation, this is the one that I teach you guys all the time. I take this one and I turn this into usually a sweet bread, because because I am a sweet person. I'm more sweet than I am savory. Okay. So this is the one that I teach all the time. So I'll show that to you. You can go ahead and screenshot that. And then in your camera roll, you have to flip it. You go in and you edit it and you flip it. Okay. And then the back just says the 325, 45 minutes. That's when you're making a regular loaf of bread. Today, what we're doing is we are doing Danishes. And then I took the rest of it and I turned it into a pizza crust that I will probably turn into, I think I'm going to do like salt and like butter, salt, garlic powder, and then like Parmesan cheese. I'm going to turn it into like breadsticks. That's what I'm going to do with mine, because I don't have any spaghetti sauce in my pantry right now that I want to use for like pizzas, like a pizza crust, but I could do that. You are so welcome. Your mom used to take down different meds a day before she passed 9 years ago. Yep. Used to take a dozen different meds every day. That was the story. Temp and time on the Danishes, 325, 15 minutes. That's what that is. Yes. That's a big part of the puzzle for me. So I watched my dad. He probably started at 53, because he died at 63, where his function really, really went down. And so every morning he would take all of his meds, like Mary's saying that her mom took a dozen meds. My dad would take a handful of meds, plus he would inject his belly with insulin, and everything would have to fight each other for his body to function before he was safe enough to get on the road and drive down to his businesses. And in the last 2 years, when he was on kidney dialysis, because this is where this goes, this is why I get so ticked off at the Matrix, because we are underplaying big time the actual results of where this train is going. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me. I understand it. I'm not confused, but it's still mind-boggling that this is what we're doing. That the only answer that they're giving you are scripts that actually don't turn back anything. They don't heal anything. That's the answer that we get. Nothing else, really? Nothing else? And so basically then, the last 2 years he was on kidney dialysis, and he would have dialysis on one day, and then that night he would throw up. And then the next day he would feel better. And then the next day he would have dialysis and he would throw up. And he just did that over and over and over again until he said, this is no way to live. All right, I'm going to see if they're done. And if they're not, I'll put them back in. Let me check. Let me see what we're doing. Come on. Come on. Trying to get it to turn off my timer. Okay, they're doing well, but I think they need a few more minutes. And I think it's probably because I have the pizza thing in there. So hold on. It won't read my finger. There we go. Now I can put it in. There we go. I had to reset it. All right. I'm so excited to see it, you guys. I'm so excited to see what they look like. Very exciting. So that was a real eye-opener to me, because he actually, it was, I remember, you guys, like it was yesterday. I'm not confused. I remember. And this was back in 1995. And isn't it amazing how this stuff really stays in your head? I was home on vacation with my kids, all three of my kids, and it was July. We were living in the Black Hills of South Dakota, and we came home to visit. And there was a party on Tuesday night. We came home, and I think maybe Sunday night, I don't remember. And Tuesday night, we had this big party at my parents' house, which was normal. When you have a party, you, and I don't remember what it was for necessarily, but you invite everybody over, like the extended Italian family. We had a lot of Italian food, all of that stuff. That was normal. Then Wednesday night, he had dialysis that day. And Wednesday night, he was throwing up in the toilet. And my sister was there, and he said to my sister, this is no way to live. Thursday, I remember I had gone to a department store, and I bought this jumper that it was polka dot, and I really liked it. It was a one-piece jumper, and I showed it to him, and I said, Dad, look at what I got. And he said, oh my gosh, did you get a deal? Because he was a deal guy. He was the son of an immigrant. And I said, yeah, I did. It was on sale. And he said, why didn't you get two? And then the next morning he got up and he went to dialysis again. And after his session, he went to the cafeteria of the hospital. He was not an inpatient. He was just there for the session. And he came home, or no, he went to the cafeteria, signed a check for his lunch, and died right there. He just was done. He just was done. So having a quality of life, like I talk about for myself, is everything to me. I'm 59 and I don't ache. And I know that I can now create memories for my family and with my grandbabies. And that literally means everything to me. Every single day that I wake up and I feel good like I do, and eating like this is a piece of the puzzle. This is a big piece of this puzzle, because I eat grain-free, sugar-free. And so that matters. I'm going to hold this up and see if I can see I need black right there so I can read things. Oh, my website. So if you go to You can do a couple of different things. You can either text me right up here and you can say, listen, I was on your live and you were talking about the trio, those 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. I started these over 10 years ago, you guys. I didn't start this like last week. It's been a long time. And this is literally how I avoided type 2. I'm just telling you, in my opinion, that's exactly how this worked. I can't make claims. I have to be really careful with that, right? I wouldn't want to. I don't have to. Because you guys can literally go and see all of the testimonies on my Instagram page. There's a pink highlight bubble at the top of my Instagram page with the testimonies. Or if you're already in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, go to guide number 4 and you'll see for yourself. But you can also go like up here to my face. This is TikTok for you TikTok people. Up to my face and click on my face, and my face will come up again right here. And right on my profile, you'll see my site. You can look there. The trio is on the second button there. What else was I going to show you? I was going to show you something else. I'll show you what that looks like. How about if I do that? Oh, I know what I was going to do. Because I really don't want you to just take my word for it. That's really an important piece of the puzzle. So let's see. I have under a minute. Let me share with you a testimony. So this was in April. I just grabbed some of my screenshots. And this is from taking the supplementation. She said, love the trio and how I feel. 1.5 weeks on it, 8 pounds down. My blood sugars are still lower than they've ever been as a type 2. Okay, that was 1. And again, these are just on my, these are texted to me. Another one was in April 6th, all is working great. My sugar has dropped almost 30 points. And then another one is on February 15th, she was 205.5 pounds. And on April 4th, she was 195.6 pounds, down 10 pounds. All right, let me see what it looks like. See what we got, people. Oh my goodness, looks so good. Hold on. I think so. I'm going to check these. I'm going to teach you how I check them. I think maybe some of them aren't perfect. So hold on. So when I look at these, when I look at any of the breads that I do like this, I kind of poke a hole, or I kind of like, I want to see what it's like inside. So I'm going to just kind of open this one up. Total bread. Perfect. Oh my gosh. So perfect. Okay. This is very exciting. Hold on. Let me grab a thing. All right. Can everybody see this? I think you can. These were given to me by a customer who made them for me. Wendy, if you're still on, I love these so much. So this is what they look like. These are grain-free, sugar-free, raspberry Danishes. There is a custard in there. This is taking the egg white bread. Oh, you guys. And then before I move on, hold on. I'm going to put my pizza dough up a shelf. So this is what that's looking like, just to let you know. I made the extra leftover, and then I'm going to turn that into like garlic breadsticks. But that was just bonus. That's just bonus information. So let's see what this does. Looks pretty jiggly to me on the inside there. Probably has to set up. So I don't want the stickiness on there. Hold on. See if we can do it without ruining anything, right? I guess even if it does get ruined, right, it still tastes just as good. Come on. Ugh. Trying to get that so it doesn't fall apart. All right, that's what that looks like. And I could have put like almond extract into the batter when I did the batter. Linda says that I should text everybody my address. Come over for a cup of coffee. Hi, Julie. Good morning. You are so funny. You would ask the doctors if she needed all of those medications, and I wanted to wean her off some of them, but they said no, and it made you so mad. Yes, Mary. That was my journey with my mom. So my sister and I, when we took her out during 2020, when May hit, this one is just being a stinker. That's all I have to say about this one. I'm going to put this one on a plate. We just took control. We just decided that we were going to be her. Look at how I just messed that one up. We were going to be her advocate. And since nobody else was really available anyway in 2020, everybody was building the ship at sea. So we just did it ourselves, and it turned out to be the best blessing ever. Because we were like, yeah, we don't need your services anymore. So we took her out of assisted living. And then we made all of her medical decisions until she passed last year in 2023. Wow, this is just really wanting to, I feel like maybe the smart thing to do is to cool them. Just like this. Like they just need to cool on top of my cooling rack here. But you can see, look at the, can you see the texture of what that bread looks like? It's a very bread-like. You know what I mean? But here, let this cool. And then let's just, even though this got a little ruined, that's all right. Let's just go ahead and rip this apart a little bit for you guys so that you can see. Can you see what that looks like? Look at that. That one is the sample. It is the sample. I have a feeling I'm going to be the one to sample it, Julie. Now, this is not rocket science, you guys. And the reason why I say that and try to really like impress that upon people, number one, these are the types of recipes we make in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. We do a 5-day challenge every single month. For 5 days, I go live every day. And we basically talk about insulin resistance, ingredient trade-outs. I take you into my pantry, my refrigerator, all of the things, because then you are resourced, and you want to be resourced as much as possible, right? You want to be able to, if you have tools in your toolbox, then you can make a completely different, you can have a completely different track to run on. Like 100%, it can be completely different. And that's what you need to know. If you don't like the track that the Matrix has you on, where it's really bad food advice that's spiking your sugars all the time, I'm sorry, but they're wrong. You can't eat, when you're insulin resistant, especially if you're type 2, you can't eat 150 grams of carbs a day. Not if you actually want to deal with it. Not if you actually want to lose weight. Not if you actually want to feel better. Not if you actually want to stay away from adding more meds to your recipe of meds. Or if you don't want to have to up the doses. And remember, we talk about it all the time. The first med, oh, that's so exciting, Julie. She's going to be in Lucca, close to Pisa, between work. She's going to Italy. If you want a different track to run on, you can choose something like what I talk about. And I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. But when people do, I was going to read you this one other testimony. Hold on. You can't even see this. Here, I'm going to put that right there for you. This was the other one that I screenshotted. I only screenshotted a few this morning because you guys can go and find them on the Instagram highlight bubble, or if you're in the group guide number 4. And the group is called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. But this one was in March. She started, so she's 59 and 3/4 of years old. And that's me. I'm 59. I'll be 60 in January. And so oftentimes we think that we can't lose weight anymore. Like that's not going to happen because of our age. And, this is just what it means to get older. But I'm telling you, if you view things through the lenses of insulin resistance, if you change your glasses to how you're viewing this and you bring down your sugars and you bring down your insulin, I'm telling you, this is how you end up losing weight. This is how that works. And you can get off the hamster wheel and you can get away from bad advice and noisiness that doesn't pertain to you. Because if you're insulin resistant, you need a different path. Counting points is not the same for an insulin resistant person. Even sometimes I get a lot of people who will say to me, I've been dirty keto and now I'm ready to be like, do it the real way. This is the real way. Where you don't buy keto bread at Aldi's. You don't buy keto products at the grocery store. You make things like this, that this is grain-free, it's sugar-free, it's not going to spike my sugars, and it's going to taste amazing. But I had to stop listening to the marketing. So anyway, so she's 59 and 3/4. It's March 14th, and she started at the beginning of the year, and she said, I'm down 23 pounds. So you have to ask yourself, like, if right now, so if that's March, so she went through January, February, and she's halfway through March. So in 2.5 months, she lost 23 pounds. Well, 2.5 months from now is halfway through October. I'm just saying, what if you ended up having the same results and you were able to lose 23 pounds by the middle of October and be ready for the candy season that goes from Halloween until Easter? She said, I'm in a great groove and not struggling at all with eating junk. And the reason why that is because the trio that I talk about actually addresses sugar cravings and appetite control. It's kind of a little bit of a natural O. Do you know what the O is? The shot? It's kind of a little bit of a natural O in that way, but you're going to lose the good weight. You eat like this, you can get your body to start burning fat instead of sugar for fuel. You'll lose fat instead of losing muscle. And I had to throw out my scale. That's a tip for anybody. Maybe somebody needs to hear that today. I had to get rid of my scale and start measuring myself, because your scale is going to tell you how much your impacted waist weighs today, how much extra water weight you're retaining, etc. Or if it's going down, it might mean you're losing muscle and you didn't know it. And you don't want that, right? Nobody wants to lose muscle, girls. We don't want to lose muscle. But I did want to lose the fat pockets. I did want to lose that. Okay. You're 60, you ditched carbs, processed foods in March. Yes, good job. You only eat one ingredient, lost 20 pounds. That's fantastic. Way to go. See, you're taking back your life. You're literally taking back your health, your body. And in that process, you're taking back your function. And now you can create more memories. This is literally what I think about every single day. Every single day. I think about how good I feel and how I can spend time with my grandsons, which are 3, 1, and 4.5 months. That's all I want. It's all I want is to be able to feel good enough. I want to live the opposite of what my dad was living. My dad lived every day feeling like crap. He just felt gross every freaking day. And then he dropped dead at 63 with all of these meds. I refused to do that. Whatever he was doing, I refused that. So that's why I'm super like opinionated and bold and a little in your face. But I'm telling you, I can give you a completely different track to run on. And that's where this is at. hold on, I'm going to read something. You know, number one, the flax meal would not work in there because it's too heavy, too dense for the egg whites. And number two, I don't do flax. It's too estrogenic. So I don't do flax at all. That's just me following Maria Emmerich for as long as I have. I don't do any flax. Oh, that's fantastic. So good. What do I use for spaghetti noodles? That's such a good question. So the easiest thing you could do for spaghetti noodles is use the egg white, the egg life wraps, and you can slice those. That's the easiest. Some people use miracle noodles. I have a spaghetti squash. I actually like spaghetti squash. But to be really honest, if I'm going to make Italian, I'm going to make the keto lasagna. And you can look that up in the group, by the way. I did a video on that. And that's using sliced deli chicken breast for the noodles. And you build a lasagna and it tastes freaking amazing. So if I'm going to do it, so that's what I do. I'm not really big on the zucchini noodles. I'm not, that doesn't excite me very, very much. I'm going to check my pizza one here. Hold on. See what else I'm missing. Boy, me too. I don't take any meds whatsoever. Yep. That is the goal. No meds. I'm 59. No medication. No type 2 in sight. I know exactly how I did it. Oh, this got kind of dark. Let me see how it's going to feel or taste though. Or let me see what it looks like inside. Now, the reason why, oh yeah, it's totally fine. Okay. The reason why it gets brown is because of the allulose. But now what I can do is I can let this completely cool. I'll take that off. See how light that is? Because it's an egg white. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to let this cool. Come on. Doesn't want to turn it down. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. So this is how light this is. And I'm going to let this completely cool. And then I can come back and I can put anything that I want on here, including like if I make a butter, garlic, salt kind of a mixture. And Parmesan cheese is probably what I'm going to do. And then I could actually put it back I could put it in an air fryer, or I could put pizza sauce on this. You can see. Let me show you the bottom side of this so you can see what this looks like for a pizza crust. So it's just it's the egg white bread. This one is made with the all protein powder, and you can easily use this. Now I could put pizza sauce on here and mozzarella cheese and have a pizza, or any kind of meat or whatever. Isn't that fun? I love that. I love that. Hold on, we'll just let that cool. That actually does cool pretty quickly though. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about the next challenge starts on August 12th. I go live every day for 5 days in a row in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. That's a very good. I think that I would have preferred to put almond extract in that batter. I didn't have any, so I didn't. Oh, I didn't make the glaze. Let's make a quick glaze, you guys. Let's not miss out on the glaze. Hold on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take powdered sweetener, just like this, and a little bit of cream. Let's not miss out. Let's get these back into the picture. So like I was saying, the next challenge is August 12th. If you are in a part of the country that the glucose product is out of stock, let me know because I have some in my house, but it is in stock in most of the country, just to let you know. So this is what I wanted to do. So in order to make a glaze for this, I wanted to take my powdered sweetener, and this is LeConte. This is just a powdered monk fruit erythritol, okay? Powdered monk fruit erythritol. I'm going to use a tiny bit of cream for the liquid. But this is what I wanted to do. Just like regular powdered sugar, right? I have raspberry extract. Just a little bit. Couple drops. See what that, I can smell it. That smells good. Let me taste it. Fantastic. OMG. I'll put a little vanilla in there. Can everybody see what I'm doing? I don't know if you can. Touch of vanilla. There we go. So that it's vanilla raspberry. And you can see the Danishes. I think that this has to move over for Facebook. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Because this is what this will look like. That's not glazy enough. Make it a little thinner. You could also use unsweetened almond milk if you don't want the dairy. Or if you don't want, a lot of people are following like Maria Emmerich macros. She has a free macro calculator. And so if that's too much fat because of the cream, doesn't that look amazing? And when you get into the group, the Facebook group, you will get tagged at some point. Sometimes it can take a day or two, but you will get tagged in a free recipe PDF that has some recipes, some snack ideas, and some pantry ideas. Come on. I feel like this glaze is actually going to make all the difference because, again, I would have put almond extract into the dough. But it's plain. That's why I could use the extra for the pizza dough. Okay. Don't these look pretty? Whoa. Almost had a mess. Oh, man. But alas, we did not. There we go. What do you guys think? Isn't that exciting? Linda, you're so funny. Does Maria have a basic book to start with that is easy to understand? I think, yeah, I don't know that any of hers are hard to understand. Let me reach up here and grab one of them that I think is a good one to start with. It's her 30-day ketogenic cleanse. This is a good one to start with because the recipes are going to be very loose fat friendly. Okay. So this is one of them that I likes. That's hysterical. That I really like. Because I feel like if you are somebody who wants meal plans, you're going to have a lot of information, but she is also going to give you, let me see if I can find them, meal plans. I'm not a meal plan person. Let me see. There, she's got meal plans. So if you're that kind of person, And then she takes you into all of these different recipes. The breakfast chili is amazing. Let's see. Here's her eggs in a frame. So she's taking what we just did with that. Let's see what she uses for her. She's making the keto buns 256. So let's see how she's making them in here. There are many variations. 256. This is, nope, she's using egg whites instead of the egg white powder, but she's using egg whites and then some of the protein powder and then onion powder and egg yolks. So this is another variation, but she's using that and she's making eggs in a frame in that. And she has all of these different ideas. And this is probably my biggest recommendation for a book because she's not going to use a lot of almond flour in here. She's going to use more loose fat friendly foods, if that makes sense. So that's my biggest recommendation, I would say, is that one. And let's see if I missed anything else. Can't see certain things. Nope, I think I'm good right there. Hold on. I think I'm good there. I am. Lemon would be great with raspberry. Yes, lemon would be very good. I know that I've used lemon extract before, Mary, and I feel like it might have messed up my, I have to get over there for Facebook. It might have messed up my batter. I'm trying to remember. So you have to be careful because if you have an extract, number one, you would put the extract in at the very, very, very end. Vanilla extract seems to be fine, but when you're adding flavored extract, put it in at the very, very, very end so that it doesn't crush or ruin. Because if you have any oil at all, just the smidge of oil, like if there's even just a little bit of lemon oil in there, it's going to totally deflate your egg whites and then it doesn't work. Now you can still make like a flat something, but I'm just telling you, any flavor extract that I add to my batter, I always add it at the very end, and that seems to work really good. So anyway, if you are looking for anything from me today, from what we talked about or what I share, you can always reach out to me. My number's up here on TikTok, and you can text me and say I was on your live and you were talking about supplements to help. They are called the Trio, and you can do that and just get immediate information. But you can also just say to me, will you send me a cart? Like, I would like to see what you're talking about. I need help. I need help with getting my sugars down, getting my insulin down. I need to be able to finally do that so that I can lose weight. I have somebody who I just met with, I was on the phone with her. And in 3 months of taking the Trio, this just happened. She's off of 2 BP meds and she's lost 10 pounds. Now for her, that was a really big deal. Yes. For her, that's a really big deal, right? Because everybody's journey is going to be different. Somebody else, they did 2.5 months, 23 pounds. But I'm just saying, if you can find anything inside of yourself to keep you from self-sabotaging today, just one day, it only takes one day for you to not self-sabotage and reach out to me, and I can give you a completely different track to run on. Targeted supplements, ingredient trade-outs, and let's do a challenge at the beginning of every single month in the group. The group is called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, and that's where we're going to do our 15th challenge coming up now. 15th. So that every month you can do, like, you can have a track to run on every month. And then if you feel like you need to do it again, I have a couple women that have done it 7 times in a row because you're learning skills, you're learning consistency, you're learning how to trade. Like, you can't take in all the information at once oftentimes, right? You need to have somebody kind of be your friend and walk you on your journey. And that's what we do in that group. There's I think 4,300 women in there now. And we started it just a little over a year ago. So if you're looking for a tribe or a group, a community to be able to do this inside of, You'll get the free recipe PDF guide when you get in. The challenges are free, and basically this is what we do. This is very similar to like normally when I'm live, it's Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we're just talking about insulin resistance. This weekend, I've gone live now to do some food. This is a sample of what we do in the group. We do a recipe during every challenge. So this is a sample of kind of how we learn things, and we take it one recipe at a time, one ingredient at a time, and you learn how to do your own journey without shame. No shame in the game. You have to be able to navigate some of the voices in your head, some of the negative thinking, all of those things. You have to navigate that. Hold on. I want to see. Somebody said something. Well, first, Julie, you'll be right over. Yeah, you help me out, Julie. I need your help. You're going to go to Italy and eat real Danishes, aren't you? I know that's what you're going to do. You're sorry you came in late. What did you use to make the Danishes? Maria's bread. I've done the bread, and I've been listening to you for a year, Melissa. I have great advice. You're amazing. Thank you so much, Melissa. I had somebody reach out to me the other day and they said, I've been watching you for a year and I just bought the trio. So I know what self-sabotage looks like. I did it myself forever. And it's okay. Like there's no shame, right? But just if you feel drawn to reach out to me, don't stop yourself. You're only stopping your own journey. That's what you're doing. And if you're like, you legitimately want to see testimonies, go for it. Please do. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. I'm going to show you the recipe here. Go to the pink highlight bubble on the Instagram page. Look through all those testimonies. Or if you're in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, guide number 4. Get in the group, go to guide number 4 and look through the testimonies for yourself. And then reach out to me. Text me, message me in Messenger, or get into my inbox and Instagram and be like, hello, you were talking about these supplements and I would like to know what you're talking about. Because once you see the testimonies, you'll understand what I'm saying. So hold on, I'm going to show you this because she wants to see the recipes. So this is what I did. Yes, you can use Maria Emmerich's bread just like it is. Yes. Here's a screenshot for you. This is what I normally teach you. So you can use this. But this is the one that I made today. I used all egg white protein powder. And all you have to do is go to mariamindbodyhealth.com. mariamindbodyhealth.com. Search Danishes. Voila. You will see a recipe to make Danishes. She has a lot of amazing ingredient trade outs, and this is what it looks like. So, all right, you guys. Linda, my husband is back, so he's going to want to try one of these, FYI. And so we're going to be doing that. You are so welcome, Melissa. Thank you for jumping on, Melissa. It's good to see you. It's really good to see you. And if you have anything that you need today, reach out to me. I am available. That's what I'll be doing today, actually, is answering questions and actually sending out thank you notes. So when you order, please register with your name, because then I'm going to send you a personal note. All right. That's really important to me. So, all right. So I make sure I'm not missing anything. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And what did you guys do on TikTok? Almost 4,000 likes. You guys are amazing. Almost 4,000 likes. Thank you. Thank you. And before I turn you off on TikTok, follow along if you want more information and help with insulin resistance, because the minute I'm gone, then I go into the algorithm universe. So hold on. I'm going to start turning you guys off just a second. Enjoy your day, you guys. Good to see you, Facebook.